Welcome back, everybody, to Bravo Tea with the Stay at Home Mom. I'm Erica, and I'm ready to spill half the Bravo tea. So, I am leaving for an exciting trip. It is my best friend, Jeannie, the one that lives in Florida that has been on the pod a couple times. It's her birthday. So, I am releasing this episode early because I'm currently in Florida enjoying a solo trip. Thursday to Saturday, just a quick pop in by myself. The kids, the husband, they're all staying at home. He's holding the fort down. Shout out to him. Love you, Mike. I'm just going to recap the Valley for you guys. So you have at least a new episode to listen to. And then when I get back, I'll recap Summer House, or I'm hoping I can squeeze in like a quick episode down there with her. So it could be like a little fun bonus episode recap of Summer House. But for now, we are just recapping the Valley. But I got to say, this is the best show currently on TV. I mean, every episode is so raw, emotional, wild. And then the after show is just as entertaining. I just scarfed a sandwich down and I watched a little bit of the after show, but I mean, it's just as riveting as watching the just normal show on Bravo because there's just so much to get into. And they already filmed the reunion. I can't wait for this reunion. Like I said before, I want all the extra footage. Give me the whole freaking damn day. Get GoPros around everyone. So let's just get into it. The gang leaves for Santa Barbara, minus Jax, though. So what he is up to is he is in day 3 of his mental rehabilitation place, but he is rage texting Brittany while in between therapy sessions. As Janet says, only Jax would rage text from a mental health facility. So these are some of the things he was like saying. It said, please don't lie to me, says to Brittany. He's a liar. I assume he's referring to Julian. He's still like talking about this guy. Can you talk to me? Not playing your games. Just be honest. I want this place to work for me and I will crumble if I find out you are doing that. So typical narcissist blaming Brittany for everything. Like, this is your fault. And then she's showing Kristen later. And it says things like, you're disgusting. You took my son away from me. I've been working years for my work and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, you've gotten me fired. That's kind of what it was. Like insinuating he's missing filming right now because Brittany sent him away to this place. No, 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 no. You sent yourself away to this place on your own. And when I watched in the after show, it said legally the state of California couldn't take his phone. But I guess when you get there, they do say, like, do you want to give us your phone? Normal people that want to get help do. Or like maybe at least at the beginning, give away your phone. Because he said he was in therapy, then he'd come back, do these texts, then go back to therapy. It's like, that's not going to make you better. Putting your phone down, like Cruz is in good hands. He's with a responsible parent, more responsible than you've been being. So no one needs to talk to you. You don't need to talk to anyone. You need to focus on getting better. And he was like, oh, the second time I gave them my phone. Well, the second time you went to rehab because you're addicted to cocaine. So this one was actually just a mental health facility. And then it showed in the preview, the next episode, we're going to see him saying to Brittany, oh, they said I don't have anger issues. They diagnosed me bipolar. Well, that goes kind of hand in hand with anger issues, but it's like, I could tell you you're bipolar and you're a narcissist, which I kind of feel like could be a bipolar trait. Because one second he's saying he wants Brittany to leave him love notes next to the coffee maker. And then the next second he's saying, you're disgusting. You took my son away from me. But at the end of the day, it's like he's blaming Brittany for everything. Oh, well, I was acting that way because you didn't write me a note. Or, oh, I am blaming you that my son now doesn't have me because I'm here because you like made me go here. Now, you're an adult and you could check out whenever you want, which is why Brittany stressed that she doesn't want anyone to really like tell Jax what's going on because he's mad, he's missing. Like he's finally back on reality TV and now he's missing when they're filming because he's at this place. But Jesse hands out white flags for peace. And he said on the car ride up that if Michelle can't be happy having wine, then this is going to be a long summer. It is like mind-boggling watching Jesse and Jax just gaslight Brittany and Michelle. I mean, I can't blame Michelle for being so miserable because she doesn't want to be around Jesse. It's like, we're finally divorced. Now I got to freaking be in this house with you. The house is gorgeous. Kristen and Nia are both ovulating on this trip. So these sheets and bedding are going to have to be thrown away in this house. I can't believe Nia's like, let's try and have a fourth baby. I mean, current day now, thank God they just bought a house and it's in Santa Clarita. Danny got his mansion in Santa Clarita. Thank God, because yeah, you were pregnant with your fourth child. Like, they are amazing parents and amazing people, but I find it a little wild that you're having all these kids and you're like piling in this apartment. Like, just slow your roll. Or maybe just having 3 is good enough if you have to be shoved in this apartment. I don't know. Now he's got 4 under 4 because his tagline all this season, like if this was a Housewives show, his tagline would have been like 3 under 3, but now it's 4 under 4. I mean, he needs to go check himself into a mental institution probably. Once this fourth baby comes, I mean, shit, that's a lot of crying, that's a lot of money too. I mean, no wonder it took them this long to move out and why he said, we have to buy a house elsewhere because we can't afford these houses because they get 4 mouths to feed plus their own. So that's 6. All the diapers, all the white, that's a lot. I can't even. Like, we have 2 and that's enough, you know? We procreated ourselves. We like replaced ourselves on this earth. That's how I think about it. 2 and 2. And we're not outnumbered either. We don't want to be outnumbered because we have a dog too. And sometimes he's like a baby too. He needs tender love and care. He did a little spit up, like throw up patch on our bedroom floor this morning. I wake up and I'm like, ugh, see? And it's like I had to bust out the little Bissell steam spot machine. So I'm like, we have 3 children too, Danny. We have 3 over here and it's enough. It's enough. So 4, that's enough. And we know Bravo is footing the bill, by the way, for this rental, but just wondering how much it would be. It's like so breathtaking. And I would expect nonetheless from Jesse because A, he's in real estate, so he probably has like the happening on like the good rentals. But also he's just has she taste. So we knew this was not going to disappoint. So they get all dressed up because they're going to go race cars. So I thought they were actually going to race like real like F1 race cars. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Or like at least go-karts. I'm like, how are they going to do that? And then Jesse said he has a real F1 suit. It's impossible for Jesse to stay married to anybody because he's in love with himself. He's that Greek god with the mirror. I forget the name, but that just stared at himself in the mirror all day and was in love with himself. That is Jesse right now. But I do have to say, I'm appreciating that he has a real F1 Formula racing suit because Luke's, on the other hand, looked like he bought it at the Halloween store at like the 80% off after Halloween because no one liked it section. And he has this little like choo-choo train looking hat. And I'm like, Jesse's looking like real professional. And then we got Luke looking like the hobo that was like buying the discount at the Halloween store. Brittany looks hot too. She has like a pink one. She probably got hers off Amazon. That's what I mean. It's like maybe Luke ordered his off Amazon as well, but it was like, it probably hopefully looked better in the pictures. And then when it arrived, there was no time to return it. And that's what we're going to go with of why he's looking bad. Because as I said before, Luke had the glow up. But then I was like, this is setting him back a couple feet. And Jesse like unzipped his suit because it probably was really hot where they were. And like had his bare chest like exposed and out. And Michelle's like, please cover up. And then her and Zach were on Watch What Happens Live last night. And one of the polls was like, was Jesse hot or not? Like doing that. And everyone put not. And Zach was like, yeah, no. So Jax is raining on Brittany's parade the whole time they're there. So the rage texting is still going on. I'm wondering also if he's having like withdrawals without the Coke. Because remember, this is not like a rehab for drugs and alcohol. This is a rehab for like mentally ill people. I'm sure maybe once you get in there could be like a detox program, but I feel like no, because that's rehab. I really don't know much about either of these things, but I'm wondering if that's why he's also flipping out too. I think it's like a little bit of like all these combination things. He's mad that they're all on this trip filming without him, withdrawals from the coke, and obviously, yeah, he has issues and that's why he's there. He's asking Brittany why she hasn't visited him yet or sent a care package. Bitch, it's been 3 days. Like, you're awful. Like, you're texting her, you're disgusting, you took my son away. Why would we be sending you any care packages? Why is he so not realizing this is all his fault? Jax is the person that would drunk drive, hit someone and be like, "Oh, well, like they didn't have their blinker on, so that's why I hit them." No, you hit them because you were drunk driving and out of control. He just can't take any accountability. It's like he's not ready to be at this place yet because that's why he had to go again, like 6 months later, because you have to be ready to go. I mean, TMZ is announcing, and all these articles are coming out that he's in a mental facility. And then one said the headline was like, Jax Taylor checks into psych ward. Like, okay, yeah, basically. And then Brittany was like, yeah, like guys, just don't text him and like we want him to just focus on being there and like not anything else because somebody already told him we were on this trip. And then Jesse's like, I told Jax because I talk to him every day. Yeah, because you should be there too in the psych ward with him because you guys are both narcissistic assholes who don't know how to function as grown men. And that's why your women left you and could care less about you. That's why Michelle's giving you dirty looks saying, zip up your suit. And Brittany is about to block Jax's number and not send him no care package. Send him some toilet paper so he can clean up all the shit mess he's made, honestly. But then Jesse comes up and he's just talking to Janet and Brittany about the girl from Orange County and how he's mad that everyone doesn't like her, but then, and spreading like rumors. But then on the other hand, no one's spreading rumors. It was Sheena calling Jesse or Jesse calling Sheena and her revealing that the girl was sleeping with someone from Baywatch. And we need someone to come out and tell us who, because my brain has just been trying to figure out, is it David Hasselhoff? Is it someone from the Baywatch movie? Who is it? I need to know. But he said that he's not even with her anymore. So it's like, why does this even matter then? Why are you coming over and talking to Janet and Brittany about all this? And Janet, you could tell, is just all the women like can't stand him or Jax. So they're just basically like, we don't care what you're saying at this point, even if you're right. Like, you just are so awful that we're done with you. And Janet is like walking away and she's like, I mean, I don't even care that Michelle cheated on you because I would cheat on you too if I was married to you. And it's like, yeah, same. I don't support cheating, but it's almost like Jesse pushed Michelle away. If your partner is telling you things they need or want, and you just don't care to listen at all, well, they're going to cheat on you or they're just going to leave. And then now he's sitting around crying like, oh, our relationship is over and it's toxic. And it's like, yeah, it's toxic and over because of you. Thanks. Then they all come back to the house. They do a little grilling. I like when they cook on these like trips and just kind of only bond in the house because usually we are always getting them outside of the house. See, I'm like feeling the opposite of like how I do with Summer House. They're always in the house at Summer House. So I'm like, please leave. We need you to have outside life and outside communication. So whereas this, like, okay, we're all trapped in here, which is different for us because usually they're always out and about. But Zack and Janet have a chat outside and Brittany's like, I'm so happy my friends are talking. And he's letting his guard down with her. They agree to move on. Thank God. But Janet revealed to Zack that Brittany had taken her out to lunch the next day after him like kind of being mean at the Jackson Studio City opening thing. And she's like, Brittany revealed the awful things you said about me. Now, unless it was off camera, to me, on camera, what Zack said, like Michelle and Brittany were like, Zack, you can't be mean to her like that because she's 8 months pregnant. And he said, I don't care. To me, in my brain, that does not translate to, oh, I don't care if her baby doesn't make it to term and loses the baby. It just means I don't care that you're pregnant. You're being a bitch right now and you're fighting with me and I don't care. Don't use that as an excuse almost. You know what I mean? I think everyone else was like blowing it out of proportion, and Janet included a little bit. Unless there is stuff that we did not see, it's not like he was saying, I don't care if Janet has a miscarriage. No, he's just saying, I don't care if you're pregnant. You're being a bitch and we're both humans at the end of the day and we're having a conversation. So I'm just glad they are moving on though and becoming friends again because that's what we want. Jason and Danny asked Jesse how he's getting along with Michelle though. And he says, who's Michelle? Yeah, pretty much. Poor Kristen though is really sad because it's the last day for her ovulation. She's like struggling so much, we're seeing on the show, and it makes me even more happy to know she is pregnant right now, definitely going to have the baby soon, and had a beautiful baby shower that Brittany threw at her house. Like, just looked so gorgeous. So I'm happy, obviously, that Nia, I guess, had her 4th baby because she really wanted it, but I'm really, really happy for Kristen that she's pregnant because look at all the work and stress and emotions that it was for her and Luke. And I'm just really happy for them. And I can't wait to see when the baby's born and like what they're going to name the baby, just all the things. But they have a spiritual healer come and Kristen invited her. And I just think current day seeing Kristen invite a spiritual healer, and she used to be crazy Kristen, as Janet likes to refer to her as. It's just so funny that now she's having like this like peace and love. So Brittany can't stop laughing. She's like, I'm not good at these things. And it's like, yeah, I would get a nervous laugh too, I feel like a little bit, especially because they've all been like drinking. So now it's like, okay, we've been drinking and having fun all day and laughing, and now we have to sit down and be like serious. And it's like, no. So they all have to say something they're grateful for. Right before that, they kind of say things they want to let go of. And of course, Michelle's like, anger, resentment, and I'd like to move forward and positive. Like, Jesse deserves her saying all these things, but I will say every opportunity that they are around each other, Michelle says something that we know is directed towards Jesse. It's a little tit for tat, but Jesse deserves it, so I really don't feel bad. So when they pass the ball around and do the gratefulness, Jesse said he's going through something that is so toxic and he's just happy Isabella is thriving during this terrible time. And then he's like crying. Zack rolls his eyes and then Jesse passes the ball to Michelle. It was so awkward. And he's like, Michelle, Michelle, Michelle. And it's like, please pass it to somebody else. But it's like, he's really leaning into the reality villain. Like, you could pass that ball to anyone else, but you want to pass it to Michelle to see her raw reaction to you just saying all that. Like, she can't even look at him. And she does grab the ball. And then Jesse said, and Zack, make sure you don't roll your eyes at Michelle like you did me. And he's like, I didn't. And then Jesse looks to Jason, says something that doesn't even make sense. This is when I know, like, he seems like one of those people that is like quiet drunk. And I think he's quiet drunk right now. He's like, I swear to God, I am going to push. He didn't even say push. What did he say? It made no sense though. Like, he should have said, I'm going to push him off the cliff. But instead he's like, I'm going to like think him off the cliff. Like, it made no sense. And I'm like, what? What'd you just say? You're flagged. Michelle said that she's really grateful for Isabella, that like they decided to have Isabella or something. And Jesse gets so emotional, storms off. And it's just so awkward because it's kind of like, you imploded your marriage by being a douche. Michelle said, like, in the confessional, we used to do a lot together and we did have good times together. And when we decided to have Isabella, that was a great time. But I think a similarity between Jesse and Jax, because some people I see always write, like, someone wrote under one of my posts actually today, like, oh, Brittany knew what she was getting into being married to him. And it's like, yes and no, because like I have said before, when you're young, you don't have responsibility. Like, of course, they were going out drinking, maybe doing some coke, staying out late. They didn't have anything to go home to and any responsibility. It was just them. But then once you do get married and have a kid, like, you mature. I mean, look at Lala. She used to be like an alcoholic. And now she's mature and has 2 kids. So it's like she changed. So are we supposed to just assume Jax and Jesse aren't going to change either? And it's just like women that can change? Even like, look at Craig. I mean, he doesn't have kids yet, so a little different, but like he was being pointed out by everyone how annoying he was drinking liquor. So he's cut that out and seems like he's got his life together, at least the appearance that he likes to show us. I think he does, though. So it's like, okay, so the girls are supposed to change, but you guys aren't? I don't know, man. There's something in the drinking water in LA because all these men are narcissistic liars. I mean, it's like, we got to save Schwartz. He's on the wrong show. He just needs to move to Summer House, honestly. Like, he's too pure for these evil people. And Jason comes to check on Jesse, though. When we get Jesse alone in his room, highly disturbed seeing his underwear. So he always is very well dressed and puts a lot of thought into it. His underwear will be burned in my brain forever. My husband was like, what's happening with his underwear? Was it like so giant? It's like nothing's in there. That's what he said. Mike was like, nothing's in there. And I'm like, yeah, because the underwear is like 2 sizes too big. Like, if anything, I would have thought his underwear would have been too small. You know what I mean? So like the package could look bigger than it is. And like, I like imagine Jax doing that. Like, he wears like tight boxer briefs and like they're way too short and way too tight. Like butt crack is hanging out too tight. And I kind of thought Jesse was going to be that. No, it was like doo-doo diaper. Somebody actually posted, oh, it was Warm Without a Mustache Instagram account. And it was like a picture of him like that, and then Tommy Pickles from Rugrats, because yeah, his diaper was, the man was always, or little boy was always just running around in the puffy like diaper, like a ninja diaper. And that's like what it looked like. It was just like too puffy. It looked like the underwear you wear at the hospital after you have a baby and you have to put like all the soothing pads in. Like, I was just like not expecting that. And then he was like, I am done. I will leave right now. It looks like he's like packing a suitcase. And it's like, bitch, you ain't leaving right now. First of all, you planned this trip. And second of all, where are you going? It's the middle of the night. And he's like, get out of here with the cameras. And it's like, yeah, now we know why you want us to get out of here with the camera, because we're seeing your like doo-doo baggy underwear. It's awful. Somebody that did get out of there, though, was Danny. Thank God he missed all of this BS because he has a voiceover gig in the morning. So they all came there for the day. He drove back, and then he's coming back after his voiceover gig. So he's like, must be getting a lot of money, because he's like, I have children and Nia wants another one and we want a house. So I just could not pass up this voiceover opportunity. It's like, get your bag, Daniel, get it. And he looks like he's going to get white girl wasted in the next episode. So I feel like we're going to dive more into that. Like, we're going to get into all the women are almost alluding and acting like, oh my God, he drinks and he's out of control. And it's like, what is with all these men and being out of control? And I just really can't see that. Danny seems like such a nice person, whereas Jax like just is not a nice person. Like, sober, anything. He's just like not a nice person. Danny is like so loving and caring and nice. So maybe when he has some wine, he says like some weird stuff, but I'd take him any day over Jesse and Jax, like for sure. For sure. But yeah, it looks like we're like going to divulge into that a little bit on the next episode. But yeah, on Watch What Happens Live, we had Nia and Zach. Nia brought some of the infamous honey for Andy Cohen. It's organic white honey. It's fascinating. I've never really noticed white honey before, but I love me a good organic honey. They did the funniest thing on Zach. Says he's referred to as Kristen's demonic friend by Janet. So they put this like, it was like the exorcism of Zach. And they asked him questions, or Andy asked him questions, and they dubbed his voiceover, and he sounded like the exorcist. And it was like just so funny because he was still like in his Zach form. He was like, oh my God, Andy, I'm dead. But it was like, oh my God, Andy, I'm dead. Like, it was just so funny. Oh, but this season thus far is amazing. And thank God they got their shit together on Bravo and did a reunion for these people. But oh yeah, so I watched half of the after show. So I guess when I finish watching it, maybe I'll watch it on the airplane. I'll recap the second half of the after show. But I have to ask, like, why is Lala and Sheena on the after show? Like, and Brock. Like, I really hate to kick people while they're down because, you know, their show that they were on, Vanderpump Rules, canceled. But I feel like they are trying to leech onto the Valley. Like, they haven't even been on yet. Like, we haven't seen them. We did get the little 10-second phone call from Shishi. But, like, do you need to be in every episode of the after show and be paid by Bravo? I mean, good for you. That's easy work, and I'd like that. But it's like they're sitting there and they don't have much to say because it's like, yeah, you haven't even been on the show yet. And on Watch What Happens Live, somebody asked Zach, they'll write in like, are you and Lala cool? And I guess they had like beef because he was saying he really doesn't think they need anyone new on the show. Jax has said that too, though. And he is just speaking the truth. I don't want Lala and Sheena coming on the show permanently and ruining the natural, organic flow of the show. Because they will come in there, they will try to produce, they will try to do that. Not into it, not having it. That's why Vanderpump was getting like, meh. Like, I'm sad that we're not going to really keep up to date with all of them. So I get that they're like, oh my gosh, I need to like jump to another show. But also it's like, this show is so good, I don't want anything to change about it. Because we'll still have this chaos next season. Like, the chaos won't ever go away because we got ex-wives, ex-husbands, ex-friends, we got people with kids. Like, it's just always going to be good. And it's really real right now. And I just don't want them to come in and ruin it. But, oh, Brittany also had a funny thing on the after show. So they were like, yeah, talk about Jax saying he like really needed you to be there for him when he like went to this rehab facility. And she's like, the day that he went, I caught him naked in the bed that morning. And then they were like, what? And she was like, yeah, he was naked. She's like, Nekked. Yeah, naked. So then someone wrote under it, so excited for naked date night. Her accent is thick. I even asked my husband, I was like, would you rather live with me having that accent or like an Irish accent? Because an Irish accent really gets on Mike's nerves because he loves to watch all these random shows on Netflix. And he's like, if they have the heavy Irish accent and I'm already into the show, I have to put the subtitles on because I can't even understand them. And then like one show, he's like, I'm about had it because I can't stand hearing their voices. So he said it would be a close call though, because the heavy Southern mispronunciation of some of those words, he's like, that'd be a lot to hear all the time. But at the end of the day, he picked the Irish accent to be the annoying one. Sorry, Paulie from Real Housewives of New Jersey. He wouldn't be shacking up with you and Dolores. I loved when Dolores made fun of Paulie when he was like, you always want it so cold in the house. I had to turn the thermostat down. And she went, don't be touching the termitat. Like, oh, I hope they get married soon. She said she's going to let her son Frankie have a moment, and because he's engaged, but freaking Frank will be coming like a 52-year-old dad with his young wife Brittany before Dolores and Paul even get engaged. I think they should at least get engaged right now and then like let little Frankie have his wedding before yours, but like at least get engaged so Dolo can like sport a giant rock at her son's wedding, you know? It's just my feeling. I really feel like that's pretty much it. I listened to Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast and Spencer Pratt was on it. Man, does he need to get back on reality TV like now? So obviously they have come out and we have heard that The Hills was like totally fake. That's why when I watch like Selling the OC and Selling Sunset, I'm like, Adam Devine, we know it's fake, but whatever, still sucked in. And even Kristen Cavallari has said like how fake Laguna Beach was. I didn't realize the extent of some of it though. So I knew Spencer being mean to Heidi was like fake because he said that. And I'm like, good. Okay. So I actually like you now. Back then I thought you were a demon. Now I like you. He said on the podcast that he made Brody break up with Nicole Richie and then date Lauren Conrad, like fake date for like her to just, you know, have clout and get like popular. He said at the beginning, Lauren loved him. He's the one that called the paparazzi for her the first time for LA because he's like, she was on Laguna Beach, but like now we're in LA and like no one really like was photographing her and stuff. And he said he was friends with Perez Hilton. And he did like all this stuff. And then once Brody, like, it was like not fun for him anymore. He wanted like a real girlfriend. Like, I didn't know that was fake at all. I thought they really did date, which isn't strange. It's not like LC was like a toad. And she was the Hills was, you know, very popular. I mean, because I come from that era of Laguna Beach, the Hills. Those were my shows back in the day. I mean, I wanted to go to the fashion school that Lauren went to and Heidi, the one that Heidi dropped out of. And I applied and I got in, but then I ended up not going. But I mean, that show was like, had me and my friends' hearts and the OC. I mean, how we all don't live in California, honestly, because all we were watching was, and the Real Housewives of Orange County at the time. I mean, it was just all Orange County based. And then when they got to LA, it was like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun. But Spencer said, so then Brody broke up with Lauren and she really wanted her wing woman Heidi back. And it was getting like weird. Like, I get that you want that, but then it's like, he said Lauren was like preventing Spencer and Heidi from even having time together. He said there was like a Valentine's Day that Lauren kept Heidi out till like 4 a.m. And she's like, okay, I really need to go back to Spencer now. Like, it's like kidnapping creepy. And then he said that scene with the U-Haul of Heidi moving out of their joint apartment and her moving in with Spencer, he was like, Lauren really thought that was her getting Heidi and me fired off the show. And it was like, this is my show now. Bye, bitch. He said the president or whatever of MTV at the time was like, she can leave, like meaning Lauren. She can leave whenever she wants. She's not telling us what to do, because he realized the gold he had with Spencer and Heidi too, because they were a package deal, but really Spencer was the driving force. But he said then that's when it really got dark, because he never actually said what he was referring to, but it was the sex tape between Lauren and Jason. So I guess it really did exist. And Jason having a drug issue, because that really wasn't known. But I guess TMZ came out with all of this. And he was just talking about it. It's not like he leaked it to TMZ. He's like, everyone knew about it. And then they decided to flip it on me because I got $120,000 to do some fake phone call. And I guess it was like known amongst the whole cast, like, okay, this show's fake. We're just going to all always fight for a paycheck. Like, we're in this together. And like, they were young and they needed money. So I get that. I would do it too, as long as we're all in a pact. And then I think Spencer said that's when it got real and no one was remembering. No, remember, I'm just acting, I'm just pretending. So then that's when it really started to shift. And then he said if he could go back, he would never film with family again. So I guess Heidi's mom was even getting paid to talk about really mean stuff, untrue stuff. And then his sister, he said current day, like everyone's fine. And he's like, oh, because I'll forgive. But he was like, I would never do that again unless I'm the Kardashians. I'm getting like $1 billion. But, and then he kind of talked about like the houses and the fires and everything. But if you guys haven't listened to that yet and you were avid watchers of The Hills, go listen to Not Skinny But Not Fat. It just came out with Spencer Pratt. That was so good. I was like going to save it to listen to when I was on my plane ride, but I listened to it while I was at my almost 3-hour nail appointment because shout out to the girls that get the Gel X. You got to take it off every time. So it's not like back in the day when you got acrylics and you just get a fill and it's in and out. So this, at least my salon doesn't use any fumes. There's no, I mean, some nail salons, like you can't even walk into because you can't breathe. So we're not into dying of all of those chemicals, but man, it takes a long time to get these nails. I may take a break after this, but they look so good. They do look so good. Shout out to Luna Davina and Hokessen. And I got my toes done too, so that's why it took so long. And then I'm going to spray tan tonight. I feel like I'm that scene with Khloe Kardashian and Scott. She's like, I am booked and busy. I have lunch and I have a spray tan. And he's like, oh my God. Like, that's how I feel right now. Like all my beauty appointments before my trip. But like I said, this was just a shorter episode. So we just did one recap of the Valley. And then when I get back from my trip, I will do a recap of Summer House. But I also listen to Nick. Is it Nick Viall or Nick Viall? Lexi Wood from Summer House on there. Man, that reunion is going to be fascinating because she better nail Jesse to the cross because he is gaslighting the shit out of her. Fooled everybody. Death to Jesse Solomon. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do death threats, but maybe death to his Bravo contract. I'm done with him. And West redeemed himself a little bit, but I just don't like their little like leading these hot women on of Bravo and then making them look like Looney Tunes. No, sir, you're the Looney Tune. I can't wait to divulge into that on the next one because I'll just do Summer House on the next one. But as always, this was so fun. And you guys can find me on Instagram at Bravo T with a stay-at-home mom. Like I said, the TikTok's on the mend, still getting no answers. So I'm probably just going to reboot the TikTok. We're going to have Bravo T with a stay-at-home mom 2.0 TikTok. But for now, just like and follow me and write to me on Instagram. And I'm on YouTube and everywhere that you guys get your podcasts. That vibe makes them come alive. You're so picture